Hello, my name is Daniel Hutchison, and in this video I'm going to go over the disassembly process for a drill that I purchased on Amazon. This is the drill. It is a Black & Decker 12 volt, and it appears that it is fastened together via screws. I'm going to start off with using a couple different screwdrivers, noting that one of the screws here is a little bit smaller than the rest of the screws. So I'm going to get started on that. Let me move this down where y'all can see. Okay. So I'm going to start with this small screw first. Or wait, first I'm going to take this battery out. We won't be doing this for using the battery for this project. So we'll start with this screw. Get that out. It's just a little metal Phillips screw. I'm going to use the other screwdriver, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's appear to be 7 screws that are in various spots on the main drill housing. Start with this one. One more here. Two more actually. Alright, so we have all the screws out of the main housing that I can find. There are 7 like screws, and then there's 1 special screw, which I can't find a reason why they would have used this smaller headed screw instead of just using the other style, as in these other 7 screws. So that's a design consideration that I'm going to take into account when I redesign this. So it looks like it will just pop apart. Yep. Okay, so that's coming apart. You can see it splits into 2 pieces. And this is the 1/2 of the drill housing, and it looks like, I don't know if you can see this, there's molded rubber that is attached various points on the housing, which looks like it was maybe injected. It also looks like this is a some sort of injection molded plastic here. So we'll just set that aside for now. So it looks like all the trigger mechanism and the wiring circuitry goes to the battery inlet here. There's also a light here. Note that. It looks like everything's just kind of fits down into this other side of the housing via slots, like this piece the battery connects to here, slides into this little slot right here. So we lifted that out, and then with the trigger mechanism, looks like it also will lift out carefully. And this light here is, let me see if I can't really see it, but there's this light is clipped into the main housing, and there's a little plastic protrusion that clips that light in. So I can just take this screwdriver, some prying mechanism, to gently pry that out. Kind of move that out of the way carefully. So we got everything loose. The trigger's loose. This is loose. Next, the drill motor and setting changer. It looks like it just lifts out. Yep. Okay. So everything, this whole mechanism lifts out in one piece. Oh, yep. Okay. It looks like that. And then we'll set this aside. Also, there is the selector for reverse and forwards that pulls out. It just holds in the slot and just pulls out my hand. Set that there. So now we have both halves of the drill housing, and they just fit together. So the next thing, I'm not going to take apart this this trigger mechanism. I'm just going to unbolt. Here's the motor is screwed on to the drill head. So I'm going to take this smaller screwdriver and start unscrewing that. Okay, so there's 3 of these smaller headed screws, which appear to be the same type of screw as that one small screw that was attaching the bottom part of the main drill housing. So we so far have 3 different kinds of screws in the drill. So now it looks like this motor just lifts off. So I can make this. It just lifts off of the drill body, like so. And there's grease and a kind of a planetary gear system in there, plastic gears. And there's the motor. And it looks like they took a standard motor, 12-volt motor, and made a plastic adapter for this drill chuck and the torque adjustment. So what I'll do next, set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and remove the screws holding this adapter plate on. Okay, that just pulls off. So now we have 4 different kinds of Phillips style screws. Here's the plate. See that? It's kind of got 3 screws, kind of a triangular adapter plate held on with 2 screws. And so here's the motor trigger assembly. I'm just going to leave all this hooked up, except I might, looks like I can take the unclip it. Yeah, I can unclip the motor. So yeah, red, we've got red marked for red here for the positive. Go ahead and take that off. I can get that pretty easily. Should just pull off. I'd have to use a screwdriver. Well, actually, I'm just going to leave this together, but it's not coming apart very easily. But basically, these little connectors, they just press on there when they assemble this, and I would assume that this whole where the battery connects, going to the switch, is all manufactured separately, and then they just assemble it. So we'll just set that aside for now. Now we take a look at this drill chuck. Looks like there's a gear train. There's a washer in here. Planetary gear system. Turns. Several plastic gears in there. I'm just going to leave that together, and so I can okay, I really see no design flaws with this that I'm going to look at changing. So I'm just going to look at that again. I'll just set that aside for now. So going back to the main drill housing here, the main flaws I see with this, there's not really a need for a lot of this rubber coating, and it just seems excessive. I mean, I can see designing to where there's kind of a like coating or adhesive like rubber coating that goes on here, would just be for the gripping surface, the main gripping surface, like where your hand would go. I don't see a reason why we would need everything down here. Plus there's the main plastic, orange plastic, has a kind of a recession in it to accommodate this, which just adds more complexity to the mold that you need. So really, I think that should be changed. And looks like, let me see something here. Okay. That. We'll say that everything goes together fairly easily. Actually, it goes on this side. So yeah, it looks like there's also some unneeded ribbing in here, and I'm assuming that's for strength, but it's quite excessive in some places. Which would increase cost to produce the mold for this. But other than that, so far, I mean, I'll write in my report any other findings, but that's mostly it for the disassembly. Uh, and yeah, I guess so we can reassemble this now. This goes back on here like this. And it'll just go together the same way I took it apart. But looking at this also, it has extra ribbing, and this may just be to allow for cooling, is what it looks like on the drill motor. Right here where the screws are, there's also ribbing inside to cut down on cost. And that just fits on there like so. Oops. There may not be a need for all of these ribs because it doesn't I don't know how much torque that would need to hold. Okay, so this goes back on here just like this. There's these extra, okay, that's for, okay, and so just going over everything again, we have 4 types of screws, 2 screws to hold this on, 7 screws, I'm sorry, 8 screws to hold this on, but one of them is different. 3 screws that hold this on to the drill chuck itself, and one thing I will say about this drill chuck, there's it has these little ribs that like supposed to help to grip, but they really aren't very grippy. So they're really not needed in my opinion. I just dropped that. Okay, that goes down there. So there's the drill mechanism that just fell out. That wasn't wanting to happen. Looks like I can get that back together though. And inside with there's some roller bearings down in here. Just knock that roller bearing back into place here. Boop, dead down in there. Okay. This is basically just a planetary system that goes down like so. I'm going to put this back together momentarily, but yeah, this drill assembly, I think this could be improved. But honestly, this drill, I mean, for a homeowner's use, which is what I bought it for, I think it was like $30 on Amazon. So it meets most of the expectations for a homeowner's drill. That's not going to be used very much. But I would like to see better gripping surface on here. So I may do that in the redesign portion of this project. So that's basically it for the disassembly. I will make note, take several pictures and include it in my report. But for now, I'm going to just leave it at that, and I'm going to close the video. Thank you, everybody.